He hit the ground, but his grenade found enemy on track. He ain't gonna jump no more. What a hell of a way tonight.
And today on Have a Knife Day, we might be up to no good, but we're always ready to talk about knives. So this knife, now, I love military history. I like blade culture, our American blade culture, the Bowie knives, other cultures, the Sikhs, the Nepalese, and on from the V-42 fighting knife made famous in the Devil's Brigade. Its inspiration, the OSS fighting knife used by the SAS by England. And, you know, there's the K-bar, of course, and I recently have been getting into buying a lot of discontinued SOG fixed blade knives. And as I have been doing research and videos on those recently, I started hearing about Randall Made Knives. And I'm like, who are these people? Well, man, 80 years of American knife warrior culture. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some of the history from their website. So please do stick around and listen to that. I was out here at the table amongst the population of the people who live around me trying to make a voiceover. And it's very, very challenging, but I hope you will enjoy as much as I do learning about the history and the American fighting knife relevance that it has. I figure probably just as much as the K-bar itself. And without any further ado, let's talk about this knife. Now, of course, my screen has just shut off. Okay, so I've always wanted to own a Stag handle knife. Check. Let's check this out. Look at that beautiful design. Oh gosh, the red, white, and blue, the Stag handle. Oh gosh, look at this. I did have to clean it up. It had been sitting in the sheath for quite some time, so I decided to come take some polish to it. I know for you, some of you that are collectors, you might be like, but you know, this is my knife, and I do like this brass hilt here. And it says Randall Made Orlando, Florida. Look at that classic knife. This kind of reminds me of the SOG agency in blade shape and things of that sort. And they just did a fantastic job on this. The leather sheath comes with a sharpening stone. Finely made, stitched. The snap on this one in particular. See the really nice Randall Made snaps on here, and a belt loop, which of course I'm a big fan of. Randall Made Knives, Orlando, Florida. It has an 8 because this is an 8-inch long blade. Now to get one, if you're willing to wait 5 years. Now I'm going to show you some stuff about all of the options, blade shapes, serrations, handle types, blade length. Now it does take 5 years to order a knife from Randall Knives, or several months through one of their what is the word I'm looking for? I'm getting vapor lock here. They're vendors. They do have some vendors, and if you keep your eye open, you can buy a Randall knife sometimes right then and there, but you can order them through their vendors' websites, and you can get one probably to 5 to 6 months. I got this on eBay. This was from an estate sale. I do not know how old this is, but I'll post this up. This is what it said in the descriptions of the eBay page. This is a beautiful Randall Model 1 fighter with the 8-inch blade. It has a very large Stag handle with wrist thong with its paracord that was made for a large-handed person. The knife was put away as new. and has never been sharpened or used. The sheath has the mark left by the brass guard when it was stored in the sheath for a short period. Sheath has a mark in the leather on back, came from the cow that way. Original stone, unused, is in pouch. Please look at the pictures as they are part of the description. Ask questions before bidding. Look at my seller's feedback and bid with confidence. This is a no reserve auction. I will be selling a large collection of vintage Randalls in the next few weeks, so watch my auctions. And you can get them on eBay, and you can find some really fine and unique design knives. You're gonna pay a premium, okay? Buying them from Randall, waiting the 5 years, they're like around $400-500 and some odd dollars, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. I do recommend that you take the time, and I'll put links in the description about all the things that Randall has available. And please do check the vendors. The thing is it going to be exactly what you want? No, but gee whiz, you'd be amazed to see some of the knives that are made and are for sale. So this being the Model 1 all-purpose knife. Oh, before I get any further, I did reach out to Randall Made Knives, and this comes from Jason Randall, Randall Made Knives. Your knife steel is 01 tool steel. If it was a stainless steel knife, the S would be next to or built into the regular trademark. Currently, we use 01, 440B, and 154CM. Thank you so much, Jason Randall. I appreciate it. I have sent another email asking about how to date this, because to be quite honest, this could be 10 years old, this could be 20 years old, or whatever. But it feels so good. This is my first Stag handle. I mean, it's not like you couldn't have one. I suppose I was just waiting for the right time. You know, buying a knife, at least for me, is kind of like falling in love. Once it catches my eye, I'm just on a response after that. And wow, and then just really enjoying learning about, I just discovered Randall Knives. Lo and behold, that it really didn't click until now. And 80 years of military history. Dang, that is fantastic. Really, really fantastic. Let me see here. Now, remember, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell, ding-a-ling, and help the channel to grow. Now, I'm going to be reading some descriptions here. See if I can. I'm using my computer today. Model 1 all-purpose fighting knife. 5, 6, and 7 5, 6, 7, and 8-inch blades of 1/4-inch stock. The top cutting edge sharpened approximately 3 inches. Brass double hilt, approximately 4 3/4 to 5-inch leather handle. Not this one, of course. Now, that's the problem, because what I'm reading from, and I'm going to show you the picture here, I do want something like this. I kind of would prefer a matching up of brass and brass, but of course, there in this picture are using a Duraluminium. There you go. Do my own stunts here. Butt cap. This knife was made famous by Allied troops in World War II, since widely used in all theater of wars. And you'll notice that this is coming in at $460, which is a fantastic price for a knife of this quality. Blade length 5, 6, 7, and 8 inches. This being 8 inches. That's right. Blade stock quarter, handle shape standard, handle material. Well, for in my case, it's Stag. That's right. Hilt style, brass double, weighing into 8 to 10 ounces. So there you go. Now, this is video 1 of 2 And I can't wait to show it to you guys. It's just so freaking awesome. Holy crap. And I'm walking around town wearing these just as happy as can be because I get to talk about history and American blade culture and its use in the military and all branches of services. And the more I hear about these stories, it just gives more substance and relevance, and man, it's just so much personality in a beautiful knife. And I hope you feel the same way too. I'm not just collecting to collect. These aren't going to be sitting in some kind of drawer. It's in rotation right now, definitely. Today is the Marine Corps birthday, 2022. Happy birthday, Marines. My Bulldog compatriots, my fellow legionnaires over at the American Legion, happy birthday. All joking aside, many branches, same tree of freedom. There you go. So what do you think? Have you ever heard of Randall Knives before? Now seeing something like this, would you think about getting one with a Stag handle? Would you think about getting one with a leather stack or traditional? Go over. I'm going to post a bunch of links. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a goodly amount of information about Bo Randall, the main man, God rest his soul. Learn about some of this history and enjoy collecting knives. And with that being said, I hope that you're going to have a great day. And as always, have a knife day. Randall history. For me, it started very simply as a hobby. In the summer of 1937, I was taking a stroll near Walloon Lake in Michigan when I saw a fellow scraping paint from a boat with a distinctive-looking knife. I wasn't much impressed with the man who was using such a fine tool recklessly, but I sure liked his knife, which was standing up to some really tough use. So I bought it. As it turned out, the knife was handcrafted, the first handmade knife I'd ever seen, by W. Skagel. Bill Skagel is justly recognized as a pioneer in handmade knives. Back then, his name wasn't widely known, but I was truly impressed with what he'd created at the time when virtually all knives were being mass-produced. A personal challenge. I challenged myself to make a knife that was just as good, or at least make the best knife I could make. My first knife was a simple blade ground from a file. But before long, I had a shop with a small forge, and I put a lot of time into crafting knives that I could be proud to make and use myself. And before long, I began selling them at my father-in-law's clothing store in Orlando. As an outdoorsman, I took a lot of personal satisfaction creating knives that were simple in design, but very functional. And a growing business evolved among friends, fellow sportsmen, and sales to a few large sporting goods stores. Through it all, I managed our family's citrus groves, and I continued to think of my handmade knives as an avocation. Then World War II began. A young sailor asked me to make him a knife for use in man-to-man combat. When his friends saw it, they placed orders, and their friends placed orders, and my knives were used in combat, and a reporter wrote a story, and all hell broke loose. Suddenly, unexpectedly, we were in the knife business, as envelopes addressed simply to Knife Man, Orlando, Florida, arrived on the doorstep. I built a full-scale shop and for the first time began using apprentices. With demand so strong, it was tempting to develop mass production methods. Now, more than ever, I wanted Randall Made to stand for quality and dependability because servicemen were telling me how much they relied on my knives. One wrote, "It was a terrible thing at close range. Your knife would cut a man's head nearly off with a quick swing. I also used that knife to open cans, cut wood, dress water buffalo, and it stayed sharp. I was offered all kinds of trades, but I wouldn't part with it. Since that time, Randall Made Knives has been used extensively by soldiers and Marines, flyers and sailors, generals and infantrymen." Our customers have included astronauts, government agents, celebrities, statesmen, and royalty. Most importantly to me, there are thousands upon thousands of individuals who chose Randall Made Knives because they need a superbly crafted knife that they can count on in the home and in the field. Or, as is often the case today, they wanted to have a Randall Made knife in their collection. For some years now, my son Gary has been instrumental in the business. He is honored, as I am, that Randall Made Knives are on display in museums, as well in many private collections of fine weapons and armor. That's one of the reasons why we decided to issue a limited edition collector's knife to commemorate our 50th anniversary, and we were most gratified when all 300 knives were ordered so quickly. But frankly, our favorite models are those specifically designed to be carried and used day in and day out, year after year. The reason is because, like many of you, Gary and I are both sportsmen, so we make knives we want to use. Over the years, I've had the good fortune to talk to many of our customers personally. Many more have written to compliment the design, craftsmanship, and durability of Randall Made Knives, and I cherish every one of those letters. But I'm most grateful to those who have made suggestions on ways to improve our knives. Even though some have said they're perfect, we know there is always room for refinement. In short, for me and every man who crafts a Randall Made knife, the challenge today is exactly the same as it was. The tradition continues. W.D. Bo Randall passed away December 25th, 1989 at his home after visiting with all his family earlier in the day. Bo and his son Gary managed the business side by side for over 25 years. Gary continues the tradition of handcrafting knives that bear the Randall Made trademark along with his sons, Jason and Michael, of the next Randall generation. And the saga continues.
They sent him to Afghanistan and then into Iraq. The bullet that came speeding out went deep into his back. He hit the ground, but his grenade found enemy on track. He ain't gonna jump